On the news tonight, Nigerians applauded federal government on 50% electricity subsidy approval for public universities, hospitals. Nigerian police declares a foreigner. One other Nigerians wanted over attempted regime change. Good evening and welcome to NTA Ijebu ode news at 7. My name is Anthony Gandonu. Now the news in details. The 50% electricity subsidy approval for public universities and hospitals by the federal government has been applauded as a step towards providing relief. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria are, however, emphatic that finding a lasting solution to the social service rendering organizations must be prioritized. Lydia Sampson reports.
As social service rendering organizations, public universities and hospitals are not charging cost-effective bills to enable Nigerians have equal access. Ironically, these critical government organs are caught in a quagmire with enormous energy bills and debt, making their operations difficult. The approval of 50% subsidy on electricity, they believe, is indicative of government willingness to intervene.
When the tariff got raised from April, the bill became too astronomical, so that it became completely unrealistic for hospitals to pay. So we really had to be crying out to our coordinating minister, to the Minister of State, to the Permanent Secretary, and I really must commend them for what they have done. They have been up and doing.
Even if it will cost them like 5 billion now, if they need to go and borrow money to be off the national grid, if each of these federal state universities could have self-sufficiency in energy production, that is when they will be off this. Because there is no guarantee that this electricity tariff in another few months or year will not be increased.
They are optimistic that with more resources, universities and hospitals can explore alternative energy mix for lasting solution.
A special dedicated tariff for universities, bearing in mind of our peculiarity and then the lack of funds that we are dealing with in the system. And thirdly also, that the government could actually empower universities to drive and get alternative electricity resources to the university.
As government work towards implementing the electricity subsidy, the guests are suggesting critical thinking towards making universities and hospitals self-sufficient in energy in phases. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
In line with the federal government's socio-economic transformation of nation through indigenous manufacturing and local content solutions in the automobile engineering subsector, electric tricycles are being produced in Ogun State. Hakim Jimo has details of the prototype electricity tricycle conceptualized by the Innovation Center of the Federal Polytechnic in Ilaro, Ogun State.
The federal government policy on consuming locally manufactured goods is receiving a boost. This prototype tricycle was produced by Federal Polytechnic Ilaro with the aim of commercializing its production. The chairman and members of the governing board, Federal Polytechnic Ilaro, were at the campus of the Polytechnic for first-hand assessment of the conceptualized electric-powered tricycle. The chairman of the board, Garba Gilal Gashua, who was obviously impressed with what he saw, urged our institutions across the country to step up their games in their engineering research methodology.
My advice, as always, is that we need federal government assistance specifically to this polytechnic, so that they can expand the scope of this machine to accommodate, as I've said, 2 or 3 people.
The management of the institution promised that it is considering setting up tricycle automobile plant within the campus in a bid to commercialize production.
But our expectation is to see who to partner with, maybe like Innocent or like whoever that can help us take it to the industry. Because if we cannot produce this kind of tricycle in commercial quantity, we will be importing it.
Our students, they have over 80% input in whatever we are doing. Presently, we have 8,000 students passing through the Innovation Center. They are part of those who do the assembling, the welding, and so on.
The most important thing is that all of us will continue to pressure the government to finish up so many raw material producing companies that they have started, because therein lies the solution to bringing down the cost of vehicles generally.
From Ilaro in Ogun State, Hakeem Jimo, NTA News.
Foreign and local entrepreneurs have been urged to invest in Nigeria by taking advantage of abundant human and natural resources in the country. This came to the fore at a forum in Lagos aimed at showcasing business-friendly opportunities in the country to investors. Bolaji Hakim completes the story.
Of over 200 million people, Nigeria is endowed with enormous natural and human resources waiting to be explored. The country is one of the largest economies in Africa and pivotal in the global landscape. These and many other opportunities that are bound for investors were presented at this forum. While calling on investors to take advantage of huge potentials in Lagos, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu assured that his administration will collaborate with those willing to partner the government in infrastructure development of the state.
We're building the largest logistics food security hub in the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. We see and we realize that we need to feed the over 20 million population that we have. And we say to ourselves that one of the ways to secure the tomorrow is to make sure that food security, which is one of the major security challenges that we have in the world, Lagos can build a logistics hub that can keep almost 90 to 120 days of supply.
With federal government introduction of various incentives to boost investment in marine and blue economy, the minister said more business opportunities is now open for investors in the sector, as this has also positioned Africa as a critical player in the global economy.
The federal government is actively encouraging investment in capital-intensive ventures, such as in the expansion of the domestic shipping fleet and private sector-led maritime development zones.
The forum provides unique opportunity to explore new avenues for investment and strengthen the trade ties between Nigeria and our foreign allies. In Lagos, Bolaji Hakim, NTA News.
Experts from Somalia are on a one-week study tour to Abuja to advance their knowledge on data protection. This, the Nigeria Data Protection Commission described as a bold steps towards strengthening national security. Ayodeji Makinde reports.
These August visitors who are in Nigeria for the first time in September came with youthfulness in their ranks to tap from the wealth of experience on the other side of the table with Nigeria Data Protection Commission officials. Officials of Somalia Data Protection Agency, led on the tour by Head of Mission Ambassador Jamal Mohammed Barrow, explains that the East African country is emerging from years of internal conflict. Hence, the need to incorporate youth in leadership roles to shape their own future and that of their country.
All our civil servants are very young, most of them younger than these people. Why we are doing what? Because they are the dynamic people who can move Somalia forward. And it is the policy of the government to give a chance to the young people.
National Commissioner and Chief Executive Officer, Nigeria Data Protection Commission Vincent Olatunji, assures the Somali delegation of adequate exposure to processes and procedures of data privacy. He explains that strengthening data protection laws with adequate legislation is central to national security and tackling crimes.
With your name now, is linked to your passport, linked to your driver license, linked to so many other things. So you are identified as a citizen. And that is why we are saying those who have these records in their position must put in place measures to secure them.
The event featured an interactive session where the National Commissioner Vincent Olatunji highlighted broad areas of Nigeria's journey so far in data privacy, legislation, engagement with key stakeholders and creating awareness with the digital ecosystem as pathways to attract foreign direct investment. In Abuja, Ayodeji, Makinde, NTA News.
Still on security matters, the Nigerian police force has activated the Interpol tools and other global policing network to support ongoing domestic investigations aimed at locating and apprehending a foreign national plotting to undermine democratically elected government in Nigeria through unconstitutional regime change and orchestrating violence across the country during the nationwide protests.
At a media briefing in Abuja, the force assures that it will spare no effort in bringing to justice any individual or group threatening national security and the governance process.
He mobilized and deployed several billions of naira to his Nigerian collaborators, urging them to mobilize the public to violently storm police facilities and military barracks, anticipating a bloodbath that will instigate international condemnation of the Nigerian government. These acts are in clear violation of the Terrorism Prevention Act of 2011 and other relevant laws of this country.
Extended to NLC, the force says it was strictly to some individuals within the NLC leadership to get details of the relationship between the foreign national that the force is investigating and the labor union, as the suspect owns a business center within the NLC building. Similarly, the force is seeking the support and cooperation of Nigerians with information that will lead to the arrest of the suspects at large.
The news will continue after this time out. Please stay tuned.
Ààrẹ gómìnà Ọbaládé àgbà ọ̀dọ́ àtọmọdé jákèjádò àti gbèdé NTA Ijebu ode. Ààrẹ gómìnà Ọbaládé àgbà ọ̀dọ́ àtọmọdé jákèjádò àti gbèdé NTA Ijebu ode. Your heritage station, we are the light of nation and the light of generation. NTA Ijebu ode. Your heritage station, we are the light of nation and the light of generation. NTA Ijebu ode. NTA Ijebu ode, your heritage station.
You are welcome back. The Central Bank of Nigeria has prayed the Federal High Court to order Binance Holding Limited to prove further clarification on the documents it is requesting from the Apex Bank to pursue its defense.
Binance Holdings is facing trial for alleged money laundering and tax evasion to the tune of $35 million. The cryptocurrency company is one of the several designated non-financial institutions fingered by the EFCC as being complicit in manipulating the financial system through money laundering. Head of Financial Crime Compliance, Tigran Gambaryan, had been in correctional custody over the allegations. He is seeking to be granted bail, citing ill health as reason for the motion. The matter is adjourned to September 4, 2024.
Building collapse has remained a recurring decimal as the incidents continue to claim the lives of innocent citizens in various parts of the country. One of the areas the Lagos State government is exploring to ensure buildings and infrastructure stand the test of time is building materials testing. Musa Toliat in this report takes a look at the variability of material testing to check incidents of building collapse in Lagos.
Incessant building collapse incidents in various parts of the metropolis have continued to put emergency responders on their toes. No thanks to those who cut corners in the built industry to the detriment of innocent residents. Search and rescue operations can quickly give way to recovery activities. Enforcement on distressed buildings have done little to check sharp practices among property developers. But Lagos State government is set to promote materials testing to stem the tide of building collapse.
soil test report should actually be the first thing anybody who wants to construct should do. Go run a test on the land where you want to build. The kind of soil you have in area A will be different from just maybe 10 meters away. Another 5 meters you could have another soil type. And people don't understand. So when you ask that this is necessary, you should do this, they believe that you want to waste their time, you want them to spend money.
There is need to strengthen interagency collaboration to effectively enforce materials testing in the state. There are laws in Lagos State to stamp out unprofessional conducts, but sensitization on materials testing in the built industry is key. In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
That ends the news tonight. Join us tomorrow for another interesting package. From me, good night.